Year-old woman died after her car was trapped in a flooded underpass. The driver of the rental vehicle has been arrested by the police for negligent driving. The family was travelling from Hyderabad to Bengaluru, and according to eyewitnesses at the scene, the driver of the car made an ill-advised attempt to navigate through the water, resulting in vehicle becoming partially submerged in the middle of the Kia Circle underpass. 5 people were saved, but unfortunately, the 22-year-old woman could not be saved. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, he visited the hospital, met the family members, announced a compensation. The government has also announced an audit of all the underpasses in the state. As expected, an FIR has also been registered against the BBMP officials as well. But till when will this crisis continue? Till when will the urban death traps continue in the IT capital of the country? And who will gather the political will and courage to fix the problem? Because this has taken place both under the Congress and the BJP regimes earlier as well. Will accountability be finally fixed for the civic apathy? Now, News18 was there when this tragedy unfolded on Sunday. We spoke to the eyewitnesses and multiple people on the ground. Here is how the horror played out.
ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಮಹಿಳೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಈಗ ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಲ್ಯಾಡರ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಒಂದು ಏಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಕತ್ತಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಕ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಇನ್ನು ವಿಚಾರವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಒಂದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ಇದೆ, ಕಾರ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಾರ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆಯೋ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ కబన్పర్ చూసాకొచ్చిండ్రా? ఏ ఊరు మీది? ఏ ఊరు ఆంధ్రాలో ఏ ఊరు? ವಾಹನ ವಸ್ತುಂದಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಳೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಈಗ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರಿ?
This is that car in which this whole incident took place. After that, this vehicle that got stuck in the waterlogged underpass. 22-year-old girl was sitting in the rear seat, so that's the place where she was exactly sitting. Well, there were also other 5 members in the same car.
We indeed need to fix this crisis, and how will it be fixed? We continue talking about that, but the promises from the netas, the blame game, we've heard all of that in the past. That continues to go on. Listen in to the voices that came through the day.
ಯಾರು ಅಂಡರ್ ಪಾಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ಇವರು ವಿಜಯವಾಡದವರು ಗಾಡಿನ ಬಾಡಿಗೆಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ನಗರ ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಿಜಯವಾಡ, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಡ್ರೈವರ್ ಸೇರಿ 7 ಜನ ಇದ್ರು. ಅವರು ಬ್ಯಾರಿಕೇಡ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು, ಅದು ಮಳೆ ಬಂದು ಬ್ಯಾರಿಕೇಡ್ ಬಿದ್ದೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಾರೆ. ಇವನು ಡ್ರೈವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಅಂಡರ್ ಪಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗದೇ ಇರಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಅಂಡರ್ ಪಾಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ.
There are heavy rains and there will be water clogging under the underpass and all. But I don't remember any death happening. That means there is a mishandling of the whole thing, and the particular drivers have not taken precautions, and it could have been avoided, and timely action by the BBMP could have saved the life. There is some lapses that has to be really looked into.
ಸುಮಾರು 18 ಅಂಡರ್ಪಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೆ. ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕೂಡ ಹುಬ್ಳಿ ಧಾರವಾಡ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂಡರ್ಪಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಗಮನಿಸಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಬಾಟಲ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಂದು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ತರಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದೇ ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ.
And here's some latest news coming in. The Karnataka government has now issued a circular. This circular has been issued to all the government department heads, and the circular says that all the payments must be withheld for all the construction work with immediate effect that were taken up during the BJP tenure. So all the construction work tenders that were given or all the payments that were being made That needs to stop now. This is a big decision coming in after the formation of the new government. Earlier, the Congress party had alleged that there was corruption in various government departments when the BJP was in power. My colleague Ritu with us on the broadcast. Ritu, tell us more about this circular. To what kind of projects does it apply? How many projects would be affected by it? Do we have any kind of number?
Well, you see now what we are given to understand is that the Karnataka government has, of course, issued now a circular to all the government department heads to withhold the payment to withhold the payment for all the construction works with an immediate effect. Now, this circular has been issued as per the CM Siddaramaya's instruction. Now, remember the Congress party when it was in the opposition during the BJP government, it had continuously attacked the BJP over the corruption in the various department. Also, remember there was a strong statement that was oftenly made by D.K. Shivakumar, the KPCC president, who is now presently the deputy CM as well, that at the Vidhan Saudha, if really one touches the walls of the Vidhan Saudha, then it echoes of the corruption. So that's the level of corruption. And when the Congress party is voted back to the power, the party will ensure to give corruption-free government to the people and ensure for the welfare of the Kannadigas here in the state. Right. Now, however, this particular circular does imply with the various departments. You see, the housing department is also included in it. PWD, Panchayat Work Development, Public Work Development department again comes under it. BBMP, again BWS. So almost over the civic bodies all come under the various departments there. So yes, all this implies to various departments as well. Okay. But now needs to be seen what will be the clarification of the Congress party as well to speak about how many departments and what kind of works that the party really had focused on to stop the the flow of the finance and all that.
All right. Thank you, Ritu, for getting us all the details. Let me quickly bring in our guest, Prashant GS, who's the spokesperson from the Karnataka BJP, and Bhavya Narasimhanamurthy, the spokesperson of the Karnataka Congress. Both are joining us on the broadcast. Good evening to both of you. Prashant, first, a quick reaction to the news that we've just gathered, that there is a circular that has come in from the Karnataka government. And this is to all the government department, all kind of tenders that were allotted for the construction work. That needs to be stopped. And I believe this is in line with what the Congress party has been accusing the BJP of earlier, the 40% commission Sarkar.
Anusha, I am yet to look into the circular, but going by what you have stated, if the circular states that all the infrastructure projects have been put on hold, now look at it this way. Now, the monsoon is soon approaching. Probably in some parts it's already come in. Right. The IMD has predicted that the monsoon is going to hit Karnataka by June 1st or June 4th, as the case may be. And if all the infra projects are being stalled without any probe, only to satisfy the ego of the Congress masters, saying that, look, we have stopped something without anything being on record. This may be wrong. Let them probe anything. Nobody is against any probe. But to say that all the infrastructure works also needs to be stopped may not be right. But in any case, I have not looked into the circular. Once we look into the circular, what details they bring out and what sort of projects they're wanting to stall, only then probably we'll be able to give you a perfect answer for that. All right. Be that as it may, this shows the Congress mindset that they're only trying to play politics where there is no political agenda there.
Let me bring in Bhavya, and then we'll go back to the Bengaluru story as well, which is the moot point here. A very unfortunate death has happened. But Bhavya, first about this circular, we don't know how many projects are going to be affected with the circular of the government. But the BJP says that you're only doing this to fulfill a political agenda. This is going to affect the growth and development work in cities and in the state of Karnataka.
First of all, the Karnataka people have given us full mandate. Why would we want any more agenda after winning elections with such a big margin? This circular was sent out because the past BJP government has a very big, contractors association. They had said that all the tenders were, rolled out with 40% commission. And not just that, like 5 months ago, around 1,000 crores worth tender was rolled out within a week. And that was a big issue, and Congress party spoke about it. So we want to review all these projects, how they were given out and what is happening here. Because when we see all the infrastructure project that has happened under BJP government, whether it is road work or any building construction, we have seen a lot of things collapsing, the buildings, the bridges and stuff and the roads with very poor construction materials used. So we want to review all of that.
No, Bhavyaji, I believe, and the details of the circular are not available right now, but I do believe there's a need for an audit. And any kind of loose allegations, political allegations that have been made, is that the sole basis of the circular? I leave that to the details as and when they emerge. But going back to the story in Bengaluru, where a 22-year-old woman unfortunately lost her life, and this is not the first incident, unfortunately. Bhavyaji, now this is a new government. I'm not saying overnight fix the responsibility. But what I'm trying to argue here is that this is not the first time that the Congress party is in power. This is not the first time that somebody has lost their lives in a city like Bengaluru due to a man-made disaster. Does the Congress party have a game plan? Do they have a strategy in place to fix this urban menace in the IT capital of the country?
Definitely. First thing we want to do is conduct elections, BBMP elections at the local level.
How soon can we have elections? Because I was reading some reports and it said that perhaps there could be much more delay that we could see. Is that true?
Much more?
Delay in terms of holding the BBMP elections. They've already been delayed by quite some time.
We have mentioned in our manifesto that decentralization will be our utmost priority when it comes to Bangalore manifesto, and we will roll it out. We will conduct the elections as soon as possible because people on ground need representatives to go to. If there are councillors there, they will look into what problems, the people are facing at the ground level and they will work it out. That's one thing. And the other thing is, of course, the BBMP, we want to fix responsibility. Whether it is this 22-year-old young woman losing her life, when it was the previous government never did that. In Bengaluru, it's not just through rain, through potholes people have lost lives and nobody took responsibility of that.
Anusha, may I step in?
I'll come to you, Prashantji. I'll come to you. Let Bhavya finish her point. Bhavya, make your point and then I'll go to the BJP.
Yeah. Last year, 119 people lost lives during monsoon across the state. And we want to make sure, BBMP is on its toe to make sure this incident doesn't happen anymore. And this monsoon, this 22-year-old girl losing her life, this should not repeat and no more loss of life.
Well, Bhavya, what you pointed out when you began your argument that this is a huge mandate that the Congress party has got, and this is a mandate for good governance. And civic issues, of course, dominated a lot of political discourse in the run-up to elections, especially in the urban areas. Prashant, a quick response from you. Go ahead, please.
You look at it this way. What Congress is trying to politicize the issue. We have to understand that, yes, a young woman, age 22, has lost her life. Probably we don't know whose fault it was. Siddaramaiah is on record to say that the driver was at fault. He shouldn't have taken the road. And probably the girl had too much of water in her, whatever. I think that's the statement he has made, saying that driver should have been careful. See, we're not getting on to who should have been careful. At the end of the day now, the young woman who had a great career and life ahead of her has lost her life. And we need to probably, our thoughts and prayers must be with the family of the young woman. Be that as it may, Congress is trying to make it sound as if only the potholes and other infrastructure issues have come up only the last 3.5 years. Believe me, in the last 10 years, Congress was in power for 6.5 years. And from 2013 onwards, Karnataka and more so Bangalore has grown by leaps and bounds, and the peripheral areas have also increased. The infrastructure development is happening. We do understand that, yes, these civic amenities have not kept up pace with the growth that Bangalore has undergone. And it is not due to any political party being unwilling, but Congress is equally responsible, if not more. And Congress now cannot shirk its responsibility to say everything has happened only in the last 3.5 years, forgetting that for the previous to that 6.5 years, they were in power. So this is what the Congress is up to. They're trying to politicize the issue. The death of a young woman, they're trying to politicize it instead of now looking for solutions. They've got the mandate. Let them go and fix it. Nobody's stopping them.
Well,
at the same time,
Prashantji, I think with the sort of mandate the people of Karnataka have given, it's absolutely clear that the party in power is responsible to maintain what it is. And I'm not going to go to Bhavya and ask about the fact that, does the Congress party think that BJP is responsible? You are in power, you are responsible. Bhavya, there hasn't been a serious policy thinking as far as civic issues in Bengaluru is concerned. Is there a proper audit which has been done? There are various environmental concerns that have been raised. To believe that the state government being changed and a lot of corruption that happens at the local level is going to disappear overnight, that also I believe is a fallacy that exists. For you to actually have good governance norms on the ground, you need some strong efforts which are taken. And that's why I asked you earlier, do you really have a plan in place?
So in our manifesto, we have mentioned that we will have a planning authority. So far, Bengaluru doesn't have one. We don't have a permanent body, for planning the infrastructural needs of Bengaluru, which is growing, exponentially. So that is one of our main points in the Bengaluru manifesto for this election. So we'll make sure that, whichever government comes, whether in state or the local government, there is one permanent body which will take care and look after, the needs of Bengaluru and brings it to the notice of the government.
Is there a timeline that we can look at? I mean, I appreciate the fact that this is the spirit that you're expressing here. And when BJP was in power and I've held them accountable in equal measure like I'm asking you today, is there a time frame that you have? Can you give commitment to the people of Bengaluru, to the city of Bengaluru, that when the monsoon hits the city in full force, there would be no more deaths? At least no more deaths. I mean, people can have problem, but for people to die in this manner is absolutely inhumane, unacceptable.
Yes. First thing, it's only been 2 days since the Chief Minister took oath, and today was the first day of assembly.
I take that point, yeah.
And the most important thing is, we'll make sure we'll take this as a priority and make sure the least we can do is avoid this loss of lives. So BBMP officials will be on their toes to take care of that, to make sure there is no, clogging in the drainage system and all of this, so that there won't be clogging during this monsoon. But otherwise, all our mandate, as I said, today was the first day of assembly, and we will definitely do it at a faster pace, and we will meet every proposal that we have kept in our manifesto within the next 5 years, just like how we did in 2013.
Just to step in there.
Alas, I have to...
of our manifesto, we have achieved what we promised, we have delivered, and we'll do that this time as well.
We'll make sure that we hold the elected government responsible and accountable. Prashantji, a quick response from you. A quick response.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I surely hope that the Congress keeps up its promises. But at the same time, if you look at the Congress guarantee card and the circulars they have brought out, now D.K. Shivkumar is on record to say we can't give it to every person. But what was Siddaramaya's statement during election campaign? That 200 units of electricity was free for everybody. In fact, his video was that it is free for him, free for the people who are with him, and for everybody else. Now there's suddenly a star appearing saying conditions apply. And also for other...
Well, sir, those 5 guarantees that the Congress party promised, they'll have to implement that. And people are watching very closely. I'm absolutely short of time. Prashantji and Bhavya, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you for your time and joining us on this broadcast. We're slipping into a very short break. Up next, the G20 summit that kicks off in Srinagar.